the real reason you feel different from everyone else. Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit in? Like you're living in the same world as everyone else, but somehow experiencing it differently? Maybe you felt misunderstood. Maybe you've always questioned things that others simply accepted. Maybe you've walked into a crowded room and still felt alone. Or perhaps you've spent your entire life feeling as though there was something different about you, something you couldn't explain. If that sounds familiar, this message is for you. Because what if the reason you feel different isn't a flaw? What if it's a sign? What if that feeling you've carried for years is connected to something deeper than you realize? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may see yourself in an entirely new light. From a young age, many people who feel different notice things others don't. They sense emotions in a room before anyone says a word. They pick up on energies. They feel deeply. They ask questions that others avoid. While some people are content with surface-level answers, they are drawn toward deeper truths. And because of this, they often feel isolated. Not because there is something wrong with them, but because they are seeing life through a different lens, a lens that seeks meaning, a lens that seeks understanding, a lens that seeks purpose. The world often rewards conformity. It encourages people to follow the crowd, to think the same, act the same, dream the same. But some souls were never meant to fit neatly into the expectations of others. They were born to question, to explore, to awaken. And when you are carrying that kind of energy, fitting in can feel impossible. You may have spent years trying to be like everyone else, trying to blend in, trying to silence your intuition, trying to ignore that inner voice. Yet no matter how hard you tried, something inside kept whispering, "This isn't who you really are." The reason you may feel different is because your soul is seeking growth. Many people are focused on comfort, but awakened souls are often drawn toward transformation. They cannot ignore the call to evolve, even when it is difficult, even when it requires letting go, even when it means walking a lonely path. Growth becomes more important than approval. Truth becomes more important than popularity. Purpose becomes more important than fitting in. Have you noticed that certain conversations leave you feeling empty? Gossip, drama, constant negativity, surface-level interactions. While others may enjoy them, you find yourself craving something more meaningful. You want conversations about life, purpose, healing, growth, the mysteries of existence. This doesn't make you better than anyone else. It simply means your interests are evolving. And sometimes, growth changes what resonates with your spirit. Another reason you may feel different is because you've been through experiences that transformed you. Pain has a way of changing people. Loss changes people. Heartbreak changes people. Betrayal changes people. Challenges often awaken wisdom that comfort never could. The person who emerges from struggle is rarely the same as the person who entered it. You begin to see through illusions. You begin to value authenticity. You begin to understand what truly matters. And suddenly, the things that once excited you no longer hold the same power. Many spiritually awakened people also report feeling a strong connection to intuition. They sense things before they happen. They notice patterns. They experience synchronicities. They receive insights that seem to come from nowhere. Some call it intuition. Some call it inner wisdom. Some call it divine guidance. Whatever name you give it, it often creates a feeling of being different from those who rely only on logic and appearances. You begin to trust something deeper, something beyond what can be seen with the eyes alone. Here's something important to understand. Feeling different does not mean you are meant to be alone. Many people confuse uniqueness with isolation. They believe that because they don't fit in everywhere, they belong nowhere. That is not true. The truth is that not every environment is aligned with your growth. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Not every crowd is your tribe. Sometimes the feeling of being different is simply a sign that you are being guided toward people who truly understand you. People who appreciate your depth. People who value your perspective. People who recognize your light. One of the greatest mistakes people make is trying to shrink themselves to gain acceptance. They hide their gifts. They silence their opinions. They dim their light. They become smaller so others can feel comfortable. But every time you deny your authentic self, you move further away from your purpose. The world does not need another copy. It needs the unique expression that only you can bring. Your sensitivity, your wisdom, your compassion, your creativity, your perspective. These are not weaknesses, they are gifts. What if the reason you feel different is because you are being prepared for something greater? Think about it. Every meaningful transformation begins with separation. The caterpillar must leave its old form behind before becoming a butterfly. The seed must break open before it can grow. And sometimes, people who are called to a deeper purpose go through seasons where they feel disconnected from the world around them, not as punishment, but as preparation. Preparation for greater awareness, greater wisdom, greater impact. If you've spent years feeling like an outsider, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not failing. You may simply be awakening to who you truly are. The discomfort you feel may be the result of outgrowing old versions of yourself, old beliefs, old patterns, old environments. And while growth can feel lonely at times, it is often leading you toward a more authentic life. So the next time you feel different from everyone else, don't immediately assume something is wrong. Pause and ask yourself, what if this feeling is trying to tell me something? What if my uniqueness is not a burden, but a gift? What if my sensitivity is strength? What if my questions are leading me toward wisdom? What if my path was never meant to look like everyone else's? Because sometimes the people who feel different are the very ones who are meant to bring light, healing, and transformation into the world. Remember this: you were not created to fit into every space. You were created to become who you were always meant to be. Trust your journey. Trust your intuition. Trust your growth. And most importantly, trust that the qualities that make you different may be the very qualities that make you extraordinary. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who has always felt different. And remember, you don't have to fit in to belong. Sometimes your difference is your destiny.